Today we're going to look at conditional statements a little bit closer. Again, we're talking about logic. We want to look at the converse, inverse, contrapositive of conditional statements. So what does this mean? Well, if we have P implies Q, that is a conditional statement, the converse is given by Q implies P. So for instance, if we were to go off of the example last class where we had if it's sunny, then I go for a walk, the converse to this conditional statement would be if we go for a walk, then it's sunny. We just simply switch the order of the phrases. The inverse to the conditional phrase P implies Q is not P implies not Q. Lastly, the contrapositive to the conditional statement P implies Q is not P implies not Q. Here's this example again. If we have the conditional phrase, if it's sunny, then it's warm, I can identify what P and Q are. So P will be it is sunny, Q will be it's warm. And I could write down the converse as if it's warm, then it's sunny. The inverse, which is not P implies not Q, is if it's not sunny, then it's not warm. And if we wanted to write down the contrapositive, which is not Q implies not P, this would be if it's not warm, then it's not sunny. So we really do just identify P and Q with the actual phrases it's sunny and it's warm, negate them, and then write them in the appropriate order to find out if it's the converse, inverse, or contrapositive. Here's a really neat fact. It turns out that the original conditional statement is equivalent to the contrapositive, and the inverse statement is equivalent to the converse. So why is that the case? Well, it turns out that if we write down the truth table for the converse, Q implies P, and if we write down the truth table for the inverse, which is not P implies not Q, we see that the last column is the same. And so using our definition of equivalent statements, we have that the converse is equivalent to the inverse. Similarly, if we were to write down the conditional statement or the truth table for the conditional statement and then write down the truth table for the contrapositive, we see that the last column is the same, and so these two statements are equivalent. Alright, I encourage you to try to do these on your own, pausing when necessary. We do go through these relatively quickly.